Hey guys, Agradius here, and this is the video for finding the height of a cone. So this will be volume of a cone number 2. And if you have not watched the video for finding the volume of a cone, pause, go back and watch that video first because you need to know that information in order to be successful here. Um, so here's what's going to happen. If it's just very similar to if you're looking for the height of a cylinder. So if we are given the volume of a cone, sometimes we might be asked to find what the height of that cone is. Okay, so for example, I have the volume of this cone is, again, I need to give these units. I'm sorry, guys. So the volume of this cone is 359, and let's just say it's inches cubed. Okay, so what I need to figure out is what is the actual height of the cone. I'm given the radius of the base. So the cone has a circular base, so I'm given the radius of that base. Okay, it is a radius because it stops halfway. So it's not a diameter, it is a radius, because it stops in the middle. I'm given the radius, I'm given the volume, I need to figure out what the height is. So first I need to go back and look at my formula for volume of a cone. And if we remember, it's pi r squared. And then I times my height, and then I divide all of that by 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly what we normally do is we're going to plug in the values that we know into our formula. Okay, and then we just solve for whatever's missing. So if I look at my formula here, I know what my volume is. My volume is 359 inches squared. Okay, I've got pi, I've got my radius, I've got the radius squared, so I'm going to plug in parentheses for radius, and I know I don't know my height, and I have to divide all of that by 3. Okay, and then my radius, I need to plug that in, and that's 7. So right now, here's what I have. Okay, I can also, if I wanted to, I could even replace pi. I could replace that, okay, because some people just don't like the symbol pi. I could replace it with 3.14 if that makes you more comfortable. You could do that. I don't like to do it because sometimes an answer asks us to leave it in terms of pi, which means we never actually multiply it. But for this sake right now, we could do it. Okay, so here I have an equation. Looks like a complicated equation. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to solve for h, and I want to get h by itself. And really, it's actually pretty simple and very similar to solving for height for volume of cylinders. But what I'm going to do is the first step I need to do. Normally, we always say let's do our exponent first. So let's do that. Let's just get the exponent done. So I have 359 equals 3.14. Then here's my exponent. 7 squared is 49 times 8. So I got my exponent done. And all of this is divided by 3. So this divided by 3 is what makes this look like it's kind of complicated, actually. And so what we're going to do is let's just get rid of it. It's okay. We want to get rid of that first. It makes our life a little bit easier. So if I want to get rid of this first, what I can do is I just multiply by 3. I do the opposite, okay? Because the opposite of division is multiplication, okay? And these 3, if we were cross-reducing, like when we're dividing or multiplying fractions, when we cross-reduce, these would cancel out. They go away. Okay, that's why we always do the opposite when solving equations. We do the opposite to cancel things out because 3 divided by 3 is just 1. Okay, so if I multiply by 3, it gets rid of this. But whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. Okay, and then now I would have to multiply 359 by 3. Okay, and I think I did actually have a calculator set up for you guys. Oh, but you can't see it. There you go. That's a little bit better. Let's put it over here. Okay. So I do have 359 times 3. Okay, and that's going to give me 1077. So, or 1077 equals, and now I can bring down everything else that I have. And now it might look like a lot more simple equation where I just multiply 3.14 times 49, and then I have to divide in the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to erase this formula up here, and I'm going to bring my work up high because we ran out of space quickly on this because there's a lot of work to be done. Okay, so I'm going to transfer this up by multiplying 3.14 times 49. I'm just going to do that on my own calculator right now, just because I think it's a little bit quicker. Okay, so I've got 3.14 times 49. And I get 153 0.86 times my height. And all of that is equal to 1,077. So what I just did is I just multiplied these two things to get 153.86. And then, of course, we want to get h by itself. So again, this is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. And so when I divide both sides, that's going to tell me what the height was of this particular cone. Okay. And so I'm going to plug that into my calculator, and I get 6.999, which rounds up to 7. So my height for this particular cone was 7 inches. Okay? All right, so let's look at another one here. So I want to find the height of a cone. So again, if you want to try this one on your own, I would suggest you do that and then wait to see if you do it correctly, please, okay? Because that's just one way to see if you know what you're doing, and then you can move on beyond this video if you do. So the volume of this particular cone, is 1,138.8, and I'm given a radius. Okay, so I can make some substitutions into my formula. I hate it when it does this. Okay, sorry guys. So my volume is 1,138.8, 1,138.8. Okay, so I know that I have 1,138.8 equals, and again, I'm plugging into my formula of pi r squared h over 3. Okay, so this is all equal to pi times my radius, which is 8 squared, times height, all divided by 3. So I know a lot of this is just bringing stuff down, so it's a lot of writing, but that's okay. 8 squared is what I'm going to evaluate first. Let's do the exponent first. And I get 64h, all divided by 3. Okay, now this is where I want to multiply by 3. Let's just multiply by 3 to get rid of it. Okay, and what we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. Okay, so this is where the calculator definitely comes in handy. That's a comma. Calculator's nice because that's a big multiplication problem, and we don't want to have to do that on our own at this point in time. Okay, because that's not what we're focused on. Okay, so when I do my multiplication in my calculator, I get 3,416.4 equals, and now I just have what's left on top of what was in the numerator, my fraction. Pi times 64 times h. And now I can multiply 64 times pi, okay, and that's going to give me 200.96 h. And I still have to bring everything else down. And then my final step would just be to divide whatever's in front of my h, because I want to get h by itself. So this is 200.96 times h. I want to get h by itself by dividing by 200.96. And when I do that, I do get h by itself. And I got to plug that again into my calculator. Now imagine doing this division without a calculator. That would not be fun. And I get 17. So my height is 17. Okay? All right, guys. So that is it for this one. Didn't want to show too many examples for this one because it's pretty basic. The biggest thing is, you guys, is just to multiply by 3 first. Okay, or I'm sorry, evaluate your exponent first, and then just multiply by 3 on both sides to get rid of the division in your formula, and then it's just simple as a multiplication and division problem. Okay, so hopefully this video helps. If you have any questions, please let me know, and good luck.